has trained most of their officer corps. He's nearly a legend in the submarine community.
This thing could park a couple of hundred warheads off Washington. Nobody'd know a thing about it until it was all over.
Once more, we play our dangerous game with our old adversaries, the American Navy. We sail into history.
I'm gonna blow him right to Mars.
Ramius might be trying to defect.
You're just an analyst. What can you possibly know what goes on in this mine?
Battle stations.
There's a brand new Paramount Pictures adventure drama opening next Friday titled The Hunt for Red October. Stars Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin with Scott Glenn, James Earl Jones, and Sam Neill, based on the best-selling novel by Tom Clancy. It's an old-fashioned movie. Lots of action, suspense, special effects, and even some humor. Jennifer Lyle attended the preview in Los Angeles and talked to the stars and producers for us.
A man with your responsibilities reading about the end of the world.
Apparently, he has suffered a kind of nervous breakdown in which he announced his intention to fly his missiles on the United States.
What draws you most to a movie at this stage of your career, Sean?
Primarily, it's the writing. If you read something, the descriptions, the dialogue may leave something to be desired, because I find, in my experience anyway, that writing of good dialogue is quite rare in films, and that's something we all have to sort of search for.
I'm removing the political officer's missile key.
Carry on. And I'm keeping it myself.
The reason for having two missile keys is so that no one man may
what?
May arm the missiles.
It's such a marvelous contrast, the American side of things and the Russian side of things. And in many ways they're similar, and then in others they're so extremely dissimilar. The Russian Red October submarine is an entirely different boat from Scott Glenn's Dallas. And of course there's still all the physical effects of the underwater, the torpedoes, the charges, the avoiding each other, and the chase, cat and mouse. And one little sequence that is shown to the Navy too, with Courtney Vance and Scott Glenn, where they track down where we are. It's quite fascinating.
Captain, there has to be some way you can establish contact without violating your orders. I'm telling you, he wants to defect.
Is that tough, though, for you to do a character that's already in print, that millions of people have already read and formed an
There's an expectation there.
Yeah.
You'd be foolish not to say there was. And I think that people... I want to play the role as best I can, and if in the meantime I satisfy the expectations of the millions of people who are going to come see this because of the book, that would be great also. I mean, I certainly don't want to disappoint them.
Captain, you have to listen to me. The Russians will stop at nothing to prevent Ramius from defecting. They are desperate. They've invented this story that he's crazy because they need our help to sink him before he can safely contact us.
The character that you play, an analyst for the CIA, that in itself is kind of interesting, too, because, I mean, subs are intriguing, but there's all these other subplots. And playing someone who is with the CIA, I think would be sort of fascinating.
I think that one of the interesting aspects of this, as far as the intrigue is concerned, is when these guys decide to do what it is they do, that Ramius and Sean and his crew, immediately the Russians present us with this disinformation about what's really, really happening. And that's where the trouble really, really begins, because now we're all going to go out and try to catch this guy and annihilate him because we're afraid he's coming to annihilate us. And I think that's one of the interesting things in the movie. Other than the hardware and other than the great costumes and stars that you've seen in all these other films, there is a little bit of political intrigue in there in the way that Washington operates.
Where are we going anyway?
Briefing for Jeffrey Pelt, President's National Security Advisor. Most of the Joint Chiefs will be there, along with a few other people.
Who's giving the briefing?
You are. In this motion picture, you have a director who has gained an expertise in action adventure film, considering Die Hard and Predator, movies like that, which I watched as if I was a 12-year-old kid, totally captured by it, captivated by it. And you will get that kind of expertise exercise on this film, from John.
This is an old-fashioned adventure story. It's a sea story. It's about a group of men attempting an enormous feat, which is take an entire ballistic missile submarine across the Atlantic Ocean against the wishes of their government and their entire Navy and turn it over to the United States. It's a giant stunt.
Sir, the moment that sub went silent and I thought I heard some singing, I heard something in the background, real faint.
I'm not following you, Jonesy.
Sir, I'm sorry. Listen to it at 10 times speed. Now that's gotta be man-made, Captain.
I think it's interesting timing, the release of the film, given all the changes that are happening right now between the Soviet and the Americans in terms of their relationship.
I think, you know, we've got a film about two men, one from Russia, one from the United States, searching for peace in their own way, and they find each other, and they pull it off. I believe that the submarines are the best deterrent weapon we have against war today, because they're silent, nobody knows where they are, they're ready to move at a moment's notice, and as long as they're out there, I don't think anybody wants to really start anything.
Well, you had a very physical role in this film. Is that something that you like to do?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
For instance, that helicopter scene where you're dangling from that cave.
They had done that without me, primarily. And then at the very end, we were going to go down there and do some of the shots involved with that. And I said, you know, I would like to have one shot. I think it sells the scene even more. If we have one shot where you see me looking up to the camera, holding onto this rope, and falling away from this. And then you can go to a wider shot of a stuntman falling 50 feet or something like that. But I thought it would be useful to the film, so we did it.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
What the hell is going on back? What went through your mind when you found that People magazine had named you sexiest man alive?
I don't think seriously it should be taken too seriously. It's very flattering and very nice. In fact, I was at Paramount having lunch the other day, and as on my way out, 3 men stood up and gave me a cricket applause as I was leaving. And there were 3 rather overweight, balding guys around 60. So I went back to find out whether they were winding me up, sending me up, or whatever. And they were just rather pleased of the turn of events, of what it had. No, one is obviously flattered by it, but it's the sexiest man alive. There are very few sexy dead.
Anatoly, you're afraid of our fleet. You should be. Personally, I give us 1 chance in 3.
It's been said that men who are 60 plus and balding are more virile. Would you care to comment on that?
Well, it's years since I've been to bed with a 60-year-old balding guy, so I don't know.
We sail into history.
I'm going to blow him right to Mars. Battle stations.
I like that guy. It's trivia time, and once again, Paramount Pictures has given us a variety of prizes to give away. Check this out, okay? I got baseball caps, I got sweats, and I have this exclusive Hunt for Red October crew jacket as the grand prize. Now, to be eligible, your trivia question is this. Sean Connery played the father to 2 well-known actors in the past 18 months. Name both actors and movies. Our address, Hunt for Red October, Good Rockin' Tonight, Box 4600, Vancouver, V6B 4A2. Next, we talk with the piano man himself, Billy Joel.